Now, my colleague Kartikeya Sharma is also joining me on this. Kartikeya, help us understand how do you look at the statement coming in from the West Bengal Chief Minister?
See, West Bengal has become the first state to express its inability that they will not be able to conduct SIR exercise. This news has been broken by our sister channel TV9 Bengali, and it has been confirmed that the TMC has made its mind that they will not be able to undergo the entire exercise. Mamata Banerjee had been opposed to this issue. Mamata Banerjee had been saying that SIR is an issue or SIR is an exercise that will work like NRC. She had used the word, it's a backdoor NRC. Now, NRC is a National Register of Citizens. It is meant to rework the poll list whereby illegal immigrants are taken out and India has a register of its citizens. So there is technically nothing wrong in that. But the entire issue has become so political because opposition party feels that it would lead to deregistration of voters. BJP and other political parties feel that the opposition in state generally tend to make migrant workers or laborers from Bangladesh and other ethnicities as their base voters. So it is where we locate this controversy. Now, for Mamata to take a political stand, her inability to get it conducted will become a flashpoint between center and the state. Because state government does not have, the central government does not have employees in the state. The employees of the state will have to be utilized by the center, because election commission itself is not an organization which has people under its rules all over India. Election commission presses the law whereby the government department, by people working in government of India on temporary basis, they get aligned with the election commission and they work for them. So this is how election commission work. Teachers, other institutions of the government of India, that is how they work. So in this case, what will happen is if the state says that they are not able to do it.
Sorry to interrupt you, Kartikeya, there, but Sukanta Majumdar is also joining us on this conversation. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us here on News9. How do you look at the statements coming in and the opposition against SIR in the state of West Bengal?
Now, see, this is a political statement given by a chief secretary. It is just the reflection. I feel that it is not any administrative statement. Rather, it is purely a political statement and statement of the Mamata Banerjee that has been replicated by the CS of the state, Chief Secretary of the state of West Bengal. The thing is that from the beginning, Mamata Banerjee and her party was in opposition. Until now, they are opposing the SIR because they want that the names, those have been included, the names of the intruders, the illegal migrants, illegal immigrants, and mainly Rohingyas and the Bangladeshi Muslims. Those names should remain in electoral roll. That is their main motto. That is their main target. Because without these votes, Mamata Banerjee's government cannot stand there, and they won't be able to secure this. They won't be able to secure without the votes. So that's why they are opposing the SIR.
Now, the opposition has been alleging that election commission is being used as a tool by Bharatiya Janata Party to gain votes. We just had Rahul Gandhi also making a comment that elections are being stolen in the country. How do you respond to that?
Now, see, what is he saying in a couple of statements or couple of lines? If I want to simplify it, the thing is that if your name is there in the electoral roll of 2022-23, in case of West Bengal, then you will have your name in the next SIR. That is now what is the election.
Colleague Kartikeya Sharma continues to stay with us. He'll take the conversation forward with you, Mr. Majumdar.
Does West Bengal government constitutionally can say no to the center or the constitutional body of election commission, sir? Do you think that West Bengal government within its right can say no? Is it correct or not, sir? I think Mr. Majumdar is not here, Mr. Sukanta Majumdar. I think that's where the story is, Ishita. Whether the West Bengal government can say no or not. You know, there are two things which are happening simultaneously. Rahul Gandhi is holding a rally in the Kaban Park in Karnataka saying there is a vote theft. Election Commission has responded yesterday. Bhupen Chaudhary has done a press conference in New Delhi on behalf of Bharatiya Janata Party, and now there's a clear signal from Mamata Banerjee's party that they will be writing to the centre that they will not be able to hold the SIR exercise. So SIR in itself has become a contentious issue. Now the question is the legality of this issue. How much the state government has, how much right the state has, government.
An important
enjoys
question, Kartikeya. Does the
no
state government
to
has
the
any
centre
say
on an
at
issue.
all in deciding if EC conducts an SIR or not?
Absolutely. You see, when you are saying Shweta, that SIR has to be conducted, SIR has to be conducted as per the provisions of law. There are certain provisions of law that are binding on the states. There are certain provisions of law that are not binding on the states, but certain provisions are mandatory. Now, here is the clue. The matter definitely will go to the courts, but I think in this, the matter becomes more political, because what is happening is that Mamata feels that this will lead to deregistration. But another fact of the matter, Shweta, is that there are districts in West Bengal where the demography has changed in last 40 years because of the economic migrants from Bangladesh. It's a fact. It has happened in West Bengal. It has happened in Assam. That is why both, Himanta Biswa Sarma, the Chief Minister of Assam, is very, very vocal on this issue. So it's a big political story we are tracking on this. Mamata has dared center again. We really need to get to the skin of the story, because, there is a legality which is involved. Election Commission itself is not an organization. It requires the machinery of the state to implement this. Now, if the state expresses its inability, then what will the centre do? They can't deploy army and the paramilitary force to do it.
And let's talk about that. What will the centre do? Also joining us on the show is Shishir Bajoria. Shishir, it's clear at this point, Mamata Banerjee is categorically saying we don't want EC's interference in the state election, and we definitely don't want an SIR.
Well, first of all, I don't think this is... she can say what she wants. It's a political statement. But I don't think she can actually, at the end of the day, stop it. Let me remind everybody, 2002, when she was in the opposition, West Bengal went through an SIR. She did not shout and scream. She was very much there. 2005, she is the one who protested in Parliament on the floor of Lok Sabha and threw a bunch of papers at the speaker. And what was her slogan? That the voter list is full of Bangladeshis, we have to get rid of them. This was Mamata Banerjee herself. Now, 2002, nearly 30 lakh voters were removed from West Bengal's voter list. Today, when she is taking just the opposite, because she knows that in these years, first CPM and then they've filled up their voters list with Bangladeshis, with Rohingyas, and more so with voters who have shifted and dead voters. According to us, the figure will be somewhere around about in excess of 90 lakhs. She is taking one line, I will not let it happen. Madam, you can't stop
What makes you say it's 90 lakh? Have you done your research? Have you consulted with EC? Because, EC hasn't said that 90 lakh people could likely be dead or have relocated from West Bengal. So what makes you arrive at that figure?
Well, very clearly, a year back, BJP West Bengal, in which I was there in the team, we took a 44,000-page document which contained 20 lakh duplicate names and dead names. Booth-wise, we had identified them booth-wise. And that was just an exercise of duplicate. In that, there was no exercise done of Bangladeshis, of Rohingyas. We had not done any such thing. Just duplicate voters who have shifted, who are in more than one polling booth. And this was a year back. And these documents are still with us. And this was not just done on an average basis. Each voter by voter was identified. And what did the district magistrates do? Because after all, they are the machinery who work for Election Commission. They are the DEOs. In one line, all the DMs of West Bengal said we could not find any such duplicates.
Okay.
In one day, they dismissed 44,000 pages of document.
All right. Kartikeya, you're hearing Shishir there suggesting there were about 20 lakh duplicates about a year ago, and he's estimating that there are 90 lakh voters who could be excluded if an SIR were to be conducted in West Bengal. That's a substantial number.
Not only substantial number, you see the West Bengal situation is even more complex than Bengal. You see, Bihar, Shweta, because see, there is a corridor where a lot of demographic change has taken place. Why is there so much of controversy in Bihar? Because areas like Siwan are Muslim majority. So the entire focus is why Siwan? Because that's where the migration has happened from West Bengal. So there are districts, where migration happened from Bangladesh inside West Bengal and then inside Bihar. This was not the case in Bihar 50, 60 years ago, immediately after independence. The profile changed after independence. Now the issue here is deregistration, registration, and deciding who the legitimate voter is. Now the politics of the legitimate voter is, as per the opposition, that you are omitting the poor. The politics of the center is, well, boss, you can't get migrants from across the border on the basis of religion or who are already working here and get them as your vote bank. Now, this has deep repercussions for the politics, because the fact of the matter is you can't have aliens as voters in this country. But the fact of the matter is that can the law be misused? So it's like a double whammy, Shweta.
Absolutely.
We can't sit in judgment
100%.
because the intention of the SIR exercise is perfect. I mean, sir, you can't question that.
And that's exactly what, the charges that Rahul Gandhi was making, Kartikeya, come to think of it. He suggested yesterday that in one constituency in Karnataka, there were about 1 lakh plus duplicate voters who had multiple addresses. So all the need for an SIR to be conducted. But Shishir Bijoria, there is an allegation here that many political parties are making that 90 lakh voters, if that number is correct and if that were to be arrived at by the way of an SIR in West Bengal, could lead to mass disenfranchisement.
See, it's not mass disenfranchisement. Yes, that's the ultimate effect. But we must see one thing. How can anybody object? For duplicate voters' name, you cannot. For dead voters' name on the voter list, you cannot. For foreigners, you cannot. So if they were franchised, wrongly. They were franchised, I would say, in a very surreptitious manner. So they have to be removed. And it has got nothing to do with taking away somebody's voter's right. I would object to any Indian, a lawful Indian's vote being removed. So, and I don't understand how.
How do you prevent it from happening? But I have to ask you, how do you really prevent it from happening? Let's say that there is a poor, marginalized rural voter who's not able to furnish documents just in time, as was the case in case of Bihar, where SIR happened just a couple of months before before the voting process were to start. If that were to happen in West Bengal, how are you expecting rural, marginalized people who don't have access to document to be able to prove their identity and to be able to get the right to vote?
This whole thing is being made to appeal that it's poor, SC, ST, OBC, minorities, Muslims. No, it has got nothing to do with that. It's got nothing to do with that. There are many Hindus who have also come in from Bangladesh who are not Indian citizens. So if they have become Indian citizens under CAA, that's perfect. Then they are Indian citizens. But otherwise they are not. And this thing of they will have no documents to prove that they are Indians, again it is a bogey. Again it is a bogey, because each person in the village is known. And this, if I know what I've been following the Bihar exercise, so how does it work? The booth level officer in each booth, he would go from house to house, accompanied by the booth level agents of various recognized political parties, and they will be identifying. And there are certain things where most of the voters would get automatically qualified. It's only those who have come after a certain time, those whose credentials are suspect, they have to produce documents. And it's a very well, I would say, documented protocol.
And I think,
so this,
right, and the big question, of course, is what options does Mamata Banerjee have at the moment? To those tuning into broadcast right now, Mamata Banerjee government has now sought time, more time to prepare for SIR. In fact, has sent a letter to EC on the special intensive revision exercise and is opposing an SIR in Bengal for now. Shishir, I have to ask you, what options do Mamata Banerjee have? I mean, she can only write to EC, but the final call, the final decision will still rest with Election Commission.
100% it will rest with the Election Commission. My only thing, as far as the Honorable Chief Minister is concerned, she's also my Chief Minister, though she doesn't consider us as part of the state. But EC has picked out two EROs and asked for the suspension and FIR to be filed against them because they have been caught red-handed in manipulating. And EC has also caught a contractual data entry operator, and they are not supposed to use contractual workers. EC has asked for the suspension and FIR. What does Mamata Banerjee say? The government says, I will protect my officers. I will not let this happen. So basically what you're saying, a message you're giving to the other BLOs, look, you work for me, you do all the crookery for me, I will protect you. And otherwise, she knows if the BLOs work diligently, this SIR will happen and it will happen very well. And let me make one political statement. The difference between BJP and Trinamool Congress in the last election was a mere 42 lakh votes.
Right. Shishir Bajoria, stay with us. Preetham Ranjan, a senior journalist, also joining us on the show. Preetham, I think you heard your co-panelist before, and they are making it very clear that while Chief Minister has the right to ask EC to perhaps hold on to an SIR, there is very little power that she can actually, assert on Election Commission. She has none at this point. And if Election Commission decides to conduct an SIR in West Bengal, it will go through. In your assessment, is this just an attempt by Mamata Banerjee government to hold on to her electorate, to hold on to her constituents?
Well, firstly, I am Pratim Ranjan Ghosh, not Preetham. Secondly, the government is, Mamata Banerjee is expert in politics of brinkmanship. So what she is doing